If Avengers Endgame has taught us anything, it is that when you're watching a movie or a show dealing with time travel, it is best not to delve too deep into the time travel element of the story.
Time doesn't work that way.
Just enjoy the rest of it.
Bingo.
Hello, Namaskar, welcome, Swagatam. You're watching Tinsel Talk, where I share my opinions on the latest movies and TV shows. And today I'll be talking about the Amazon Prime original movie The Tomorrow War, starring Chris Pratt, Yvonne Strahovski and J.K. Simmons. First of all, I was amazed that a full-fledged star-studded summer popcorn flick would end up on Amazon Prime Video of all places. The Tomorrow War is a proper made-for-theaters movie by Paramount Studios and Skydance production. But apparently COVID-19 pandemic hit just after they wrapped up their shooting, and then things spiraled out of control for everyone. Well, this introduction was necessary because in today's day and age, it is essential to see the streaming only movies and theatrical movies which end up on streaming services a bit differently. Anyway, starting at the beginning. This movie is all about a dystopian future where the human race is at the brink of extinction in a war against a mysterious alien predator. Not the predator, just a predator species which is called white spikes. When that future seems at the brink of losing the war, they send people back in time to draft people from the present, our present, to join their war effort.
We are fighting a war 30 years in the future.
While this goes on for almost a year, the world in the present is divided and being driven to chaos because there is a 70% mortality among the draftees, and so the people don't think it is worth to send people into the future just to die without any real chance of victory.
Nothing we do here matters.
No, that's where you're wrong. I don't believe that one bit.
Our protagonist Dan Forrester, played by Chris Pratt, is an ex-military biology teacher. He is drafted for this future war. Obviously, everything that could go wrong does. Right from this group of draftees getting no training to a botched time travel.
Welcome to the future. You and your unit are now in 2051.
But ultimately, Dan and his bunch of draftees reach the future and complete their first mission, although with significant casualties. Enter the brain behind this operation, Murray Forrester, who is the commander in the war against the aliens.
We are food, and they are hungry.
She is the lead researcher in the quest to find a toxin to kill the aliens, and she is Dan's daughter. Now, honestly, a father who can literally see his daughter be so badass and actually making a change in the world in the future, how proud will he be? That is where a twist comes in. Dan's past with his father, played by J.K. Simmons, has been traumatic, and it appears that Dan unwittingly followed his father's footsteps in his future and Commander Murray's past. That is a nice bonding moment between father and daughter, but it is not that well fleshed out. They embarked on a journey to find a solution to this invasion, and eventually they do. In any other movie, this would be the end of the film, but there is a third act too. The fate of the future that Dan jumped into, well, that is a separate thing, but that future notwithstanding, Dan is determined to save the present from ever reaching that doom. So there is this final quest to stop the alien invasion before it begins.
Together, we can stop this war from ever happening.
Now, with this premise, there are a lot of tropes. The first one is that this movie is very similar in its tone to The Edge of Tomorrow. But even leaving that aside, the movie is as a whole cheesy. The most important thing to keep in mind while you are watching this movie is that you shouldn't count the aliens. And you shouldn't count how many bullets those guns can shoot without having to reload. I mean, sure, the assault rifles they are showing here is capable of shooting 40 bullets in a quick bout, but when you notice the ridiculous amount of gunfire going on in the movie, you have got to wonder who is in charge of keeping count of the bullets. And the number of aliens is really insane. It is a swarm after swarm of aliens. So after a few scenes, the screen just becomes a blur of aliens and people and gunfire and helicopters and explosions and noise. Once the shootings start, there is very little time to catch up. Fortunately, the plot points and most of the exposition are generic, so it won't matter if you couldn't keep up. Just enjoy the show. Because for the life of me, with the time the movie spent on explaining the toxin, I couldn't really understand how they managed to make a magic vial of poison that could not only kill but literally melt the aliens. I liked the really intense moments in the first mission of Dan's team, but once the firefight started, the running, the jumping, shooting, the explosions and death, it quickly became apparent that this was an action flick through and through with very little focus on suspense and tension building. We can even predict the exact moment when the alien swarm would hit suddenly. But enough talk about the plot, let us also talk about the aliens. I found the aliens interesting, but the fast pace of the movie and the sheer length of the story left no scope for more exploration of the aliens. We see the aliens running at breakneck speeds, jumping up and down buildings and walls and cliffs, and they can glide and they can swim too. They must have had an interesting anatomy. But that was beyond the scope of this movie to explore. The biggest missed opportunity of bringing depth to this story, I think, was that they spent too little time in the present. In the present, humanity was torn because of the high mortality rate of the draftees and the anti-war movement. The present didn't seem to be in a better shape than the future. I would have liked to see the stakes being raised high, parallelly in the future and the present. But anyway, Chris Pratt as the main action hero does his job great, with all the charisma and the machismo that we can associate him with. The biggest problem with Chris's character was that he is this badass soldier, physically fit and really active. But during the first 20 minutes of the movie, we only see him as a regular Joe.
Has anyone seen Miri?
A normal family man with maybe a disciplined personality and a combat honed mind, but certainly not an ace fighter. The moment he jumps into the future, which was before any kind of training, I must repeat, he immediately seemed to become a top-class soldier, unperturbed by all the death and destruction around him, with the single focus on the mission. It is hard to connect with a character on a human level when he is so clearly a near-perfect, unstoppable killing machine. The same holds true for Dan's daughter, Commander Murray Forrester, played by Yvonne Strahovski. Yvonne is a great actress, best known for her role in the series Dexter. Here, her acting chops are, well, just adequate. But what I find problem digesting is that she is both the lead scientist of the mission and the lead fighter in her ground team.
This is the end.
I mean, leave the heroism and the dramatization aside. When someone's mind is as important that their lab work may hold the key to saving humanity, they would not be risking their neck fighting against an extremely dangerous animal. What would have happened if she had been killed? The entire mission gone in smokes. Anyway, on the other end of the spectrum is the comic relief in the movie, Sam Richardson.
Sorry, when I'm nervous, I talk. I'm like a 97 on the nervous scale.
Sam's character, Charlie, started off good as the fumbling misfit or the fool of the court, so to speak. But his fate was a huge disappointment. He survived through the movie, and that he did in a manner that was both unbelievable and also irritating. There was no transition moment for him where he left his former light-hearted, nervous self and became a war-hardened killer.
I'm not gonna hide. I'm gonna fight.
It's not even loaded.
His survival, where so many hundreds died, was a slap in the face of this apocalyptic theme of the movie. But anyway, that is just my opinion. Maybe some people will find it comic and endearing. Character-wise, Dorian, played by Edwin Hodge, is the most intriguing one. He is one of the only 3 people who returned to fight the future, even after surviving more than one tour. I liked his story arc and his fate in the story. Quite more interesting than the story of Dan's wife, Emmy, who is just there, going through the motions of being afraid when Dan was drafted, asking him to escape with her and their daughter. Well, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is used in small doses, and his presence does add a bit of flair in the movie, especially in the last part of the movie.
I need your help.
I'll get my coat.
See, it doesn't need to be said twice that Tomorrow War isn't a thinking man's film. It is the definition of a summer popcorn flick. I think I would have had a worse time watching this in a theater than I did at my home for one simple factor: noise. This movie is loud. And so, although I liked the movie as a popcorn flick, I would give the Amazon Prime Video movie The Tomorrow War 6 thumbs ups out of 10. What do you think? I'm sure you were as excited as I was watching Chris Pratt in a badass look in the trailers. Did the movie live up to your expectations? Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, I'm eagerly looking forward to your feedback and comments. If you like this video, please do leave a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. This is all from my side for today. I'll be back with another review or a different video on another topic. Till then, don't forget to follow me on social media with the links in the description box and subscribe to my channel, The Versatile Doctor. This is Dr. Abhinav Atul signing off. It is my pride and privilege to be able to connect with you through this video. Namaskar. While you are still on YouTube, how about you check out this video that YouTube thinks you will like. And right here in this playlist, you will find all the Tinsel Talk videos.